What's up, Vikings fans? Free agency is going to be crazy. The Vikings, the first domino of the fall was Eric Kendricks getting cut this morning. Expect guys like Thielen, even maybe a Dalvin Cook to be cut. The Vikings are going to be making a ton of moves, and I want to be your one-stop shop for Vikings news, rumors, whatever it may be. It's free. Go down there, hit that subscribe button. You're only going to be a more informed Minnesota Vikings fan. It helps me out a lot here at Vikings Now by Chat Sports. Make me look good to my bosses. It's free. Go down there and hit that subscribe button. So earlier this morning, I got the notification from Tom Pelissero exactly at 8 a.m. on the dot. The Vikings decided to cut fan favorite linebacker Eric Kendricks, who really just embodied the definition of consistency at the linebacker position for this team for the past 9 seasons. But on today's show, we're going to be looking at the top 10 Eric Kendricks replacement options after the Vikings cut him right ahead of 2023 NFL free agency. I got 9 free agents, and I got 1 in-house option. And we're going to start with that in-house option right away, and that's Brian Asamoah, who honestly, yes, the Eric Kendricks news, it hurt. Just as a Vikings fan, he's been with the team for so long. He's worn that C on his jersey. He's been a captain. But let the Brian Asamoah hype train begin. This dude is going to flourish in the Brian Flores defense. If you talk about Brian Flores defense, what do you need to have? Versatility and speed. That's Brian Asamoah. I think he is going to be unleashed over this next season. And if you're looking at the Vikings linebacker depth chart right here, this is honestly what inspired this video today. Brian Asamoah, he'll probably be linebacker 1. Linebacker 2 right now is Jordan Hicks. Expect him to be cut. And besides that, they don't really have too many names on this roster who could play linebacker for them. So expect them to be aggressive in free agency and in the draft. But I really do expect Brian Asamoah, let the hype train begin. He is going to have a huge season for the Vikings next year. Number 2 on my list, an older option at the linebacker position, but that's Tampa Bay Buccaneers linebacker Lavonte David. And I love this guy. I mean, look at his stats from this past season. 124 tackles, 3 sacks, 10 tackles for loss, forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. You're going to be hearing me saying this a lot in today's video. Versatility. Lavonte David is that. You can bring him off the edge. You can drop him back in coverage. He will be a great run-stopping linebacker for Brian Flores. Only issue is he is 33 years old, so could it be a maybe 1 or 2 year prove-it type of deal for Lavonte David where maybe he says, you know what, maybe I think I could win with the Minnesota Vikings, turn around that defense that was so bad last year under Brian Flores. Lavonte David, even though he's an older option, he was one of my higher options as an Eric Kendricks replacement. This is one I like the most. David Long, the linebacker from the Tennessee Titans. And this dude is a coverage freak. I love this guy. Anytime you drop him back into coverage, he is getting sticky, whether it's a linebacker, slot wide receiver, or a running back coming out of the backfield. That is him. David Long, what he did this past season kind of reminds me of what Eric Kendricks was for the Vikings back in 2019 when they ran that 4-3, and he was so good in man coverage anytime he got stuck on, like I said, a tight end, running back, slot wide receiver, whatever it may be. David Long is more of the run stuffer, coverage linebacker. Can't really bring him off the edge too much, but I would like him as my number 3 option. He is 26 years old, so locking him up for a 3-4 year deal, I would love to see it. But I want to get you guys' thoughts on this. I got more names coming here in a second. Give me your top Eric Kendricks replacement option. I'll be giving you guys my answer at the end of today's video, so stick along. But it will be the pinned comment on today's video. So if a YouTube ad break comes, just let it play. Go down there and respond to the pinned comment on today's video. Name your top Eric Kendricks replacement option. Number 4, I love this name, Tremaine Edmunds from the Buffalo Bills, the 6'5", rangy linebacker from Virginia Tech. He is a freak, and like I said, speed and versatility for this Brian Flores defense, that's him. That's Tremaine Edmunds. He is a freak coming out of Virginia Tech. Over 100 tackles this year, 1 sack, 6 tackles for loss. And like I said, he will fit Brian Flores' system extremely well. I think he's a great coverage linebacker. I think he can really fit in instantly with what Flores wants to do in Minnesota. And really, I think he would change life. And pairing him up next to a guy like Brian Asamoah, who is a little more versatile than him, I think it would be a great match for both of them. Number 5 is the the runner-up in the Super Bowl, T.J. Edwards, the linebacker for the Philadelphia Eagles. I really like him. I mean, he had a really solid year this past year, 159 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, no interceptions, and a forced fumble. And again, he is a fast, hard-hitting linebacker, and he is young. He is 26 years old. I would love to bring T.J. Edwards to Minnesota, especially if you're coming off that championship pedigree. He's got that championship experience already. He's already had a deep playoff run. Just adding that experience to this defense, I would absolutely love it. T.J. Edwards, name to keep your eye on. I think it will be maybe more of an expensive option. So if you really want to consolidate all your free agency money, everything you have in the cap space, and go all out on the linebacker position, T.J. Edwards is a very solid option. Number 6, Germaine Pratt, the linebacker for the Cincinnati Bengals. He is set to hit free agency. And, man, if you watch the Bengals play at all this postseason, Germaine Pratt is him. He is an elite coverage linebacker. I swear every single time he gets matched up, whether it's a linebacker, running back, whatever it may be, coming out of the backfield, Germaine Pratt is sticking on him like white on rice. I love him. Great coverage linebacker. I would really consider bringing him in. He is one of my closer top options on this list. But I want to hear what you guys have to say. Do you want to sign Germaine Pratt in free agency? If the money works out, if he is one of the top options, to pair him up next to Brian Asamoah as the 2 linebackers for the future for the Minnesota Vikings, type S for sign or type P for pass. Number 7 is a linebacker out of the Indianapolis Colts, Bobby Okereke, who kind of hit the scene. He was not really a household name up until this past season, but he had a really solid year for the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, he is 6'2", 235 pounds, coming out of Stanford University. This past season, 151 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries. He wreaks havoc at the linebacker position. And he also has that turnover gene. He can turn the ball over, which I love seeing out of a linebacker. You got to be aggressive in today's NFL, and that's the definition of him. He can cover anywhere. He's fast. You guys see what I'm saying? A lot of the same words, fast and versatile. That's what Brian Flores wants on this defense, and that's what Bobby Okereke will deliver for this team. Number 8, a little old head for the Dallas Cowboys, Leighton Vander Esch. And Leighton Vander Esch, he is a little slower. He did lose a step from where he was in his prime with the Dallas Cowboys. But this past season, he put up okay numbers, only 60 tackles. He did have a sack, 4 tackles for loss. This would be a cheaper option, I think, for the Vikings. Maybe bring him on a 1-year, $5 million deal. I think this would be kind of if you strike out on all the top other free agent linebackers and maybe you don't want to consolidate assets and draft a linebacker in this year's draft. I think Leighton Vander Esch, he could be a solid option. Obviously not the player he once was during his prime in Dallas, but I think he could be a great mentor for a guy like Brian Asamoah. He is number 8 on my list. I want to ask you guys, if you're the GM, if you're Kwesi Adofo-Mensah and you're sitting there and you see that linebacker, you see the linebacker depth chart and you're like, how can I fix this? Type D for draft or type FA for free agency. I'm leaning towards free agency just mainly because the Vikings only have 4 draft picks this year. I don't want to spend any of them on a linebacker. I think it's got to go towards other positions like corner. But get down in the comments and answer that question. How should the Vikes fix the linebacker position? We have a great deal going on. St. Patrick's Day is just around the corner, and Fanatics is hooking it up for you guys. If you guys go to chatsports.com/VikingsGreen, I'll make sure that link is in the comments and the description of today's video. You can get these sweet t-shirts that are being shown on screen, and also check out these socks. I'm a big fan of these socks. You can rock in the green on St. Patrick's Day. Got the nice Vikings logo up there on top. So if you guys want to get some Minnesota Vikings St. Patrick's Day gear, maybe you're going out drinking in downtown Minneapolis, you want to be supporting the Vikes, rocking the green, St. Patrick's Day gear on sale at chatsports.com/VikingsGreen. Number 9 on our list, Kaden Elliss. Kaden Elliss is the linebacker from the New Orleans Saints, and he is a younger option for the Vikings where you could sign him for maybe a 3-4 year deal, and he could really be a good option next to a guy like Brian Asamoah, like I've been saying. 2022, 78 tackles, 7 sacks, 7 tackles for loss. I mean, he is really a definition of being a versatile linebacker in today's league. Very similar to actually Anthony Barr, former Vikings linebacker. He's extremely fast off the edge. And honestly, I think he's a very solid kind of coverage linebacker. He hits really hard. I think he would be a great option for Brian Flores to bring in. Number 10 on this, wrapping it up, is Alex Singleton, the linebacker from the Denver Broncos. This would be kind of another cheaper option, similar to a Leighton Vander Esch for me. Yes, do I think Alex Singleton, it's not the best name on this list, but he is a solid name on this list. Alex Singleton, I don't think he would be the most exciting option. Like if we got that notification on our phone, Vikings signed Alex Singleton, you'd be kind of saying like, okay, that's an all right option to replace Eric Kendricks. But my overall number one player I want the Vikings to bring in, I think it would be Tremaine Edmunds. I think Tremaine Edmunds, he's got that playoff experience. He's huge. He's rangy. He can come off the edge. He can cover tight ends, running backs, whatever it may be, and he's really solid in the run. That's my number one option. Remember, answer today's pinned comment down below. And thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you made it all the way to the end, you are a real one. Give me a real one down below. I love getting down in the comments and responding to you guys because I know the ones who are typing real one made it to the end of today's video. And as always, Skol Vikes.